and Tim Montana, who's been having a pretty good year so far. All four bands, Stained, your headliner, Friday, May 17th. They're going to play MGM Northfield Park. Ticketmaster.com will have all the info for you. This pair for you, caller 10, 2 for Stained, month after next. Good luck. 216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007.
You'd flee a wildfire.
Evacuate.
You'd prepare for a hurricane, but there's no escaping this disaster.
It's one of the worst disasters that I've seen in my career.
It's the Alan Cox Show
on 100.7 WMMS.
To my mother, to my father, it's your son or it's your daughter. My screams loud enough for you to hear me. Should I turn this up for you? I sit here locked inside my head.
All right. I will have more Stained tickets for you tomorrow. Comedian Alonzo Bowden's going to be back in here tomorrow. Always fun catching up with him.
Oh, nice. I love Alonzo.
He's starting his run at Hilarities tomorrow night. He'll do shows tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday. Bill's going to be out tomorrow night for our Bud Light March Mini Hoops appearances. If you're any good at Pop-A-Shot, you're going to want to make it out to at least a handful of these appearances because you could end up in Vegas winning the whole thing. There's a $10,000 prize at the very end of this, and we're going to get one winner. Bill and I are doing a bunch of appearances during the month of March, and one winner from Northeast Ohio will go on to compete in Las Vegas, and there's no reason that that shouldn't be you. So tomorrow night, he's going to be at Chuggers, which is where? Strongsville? Streetsboro. So if you're out, Kent way, if you're out Aurora way, yeah.
Manaway, Middlefield.
And then Friday and Saturday, we're both going to be in Willoughby.
Yeah.
You'll be out at Frank and Tony's on Friday.
I'll be at Fats. You'll be at Garage Bar.
I'll be at Garage Bar on Saturday night from 7 to 9. So if you're out Willoughby way, Friday and Saturday nights, that's a pretty easy way.
We'll be calling it Billaby by the time I'm done with it. Yeah.
Mary, your thoughts?
Nope.
And then I'm doing stand-up in Lorraine on Saturday if you want to come hang out at that.
Why are you exhaling so exasperatedly?
Billaby.
We went past that.
I know.
You missed your chance to sigh exasperate.
I needed a second.
That was a weird laugh.
He moved on.
I didn't laugh.
That's
what you think laughs are. That explains a lot.
Bill. God bless America.
She's so mean.
Shots fired over
I'm not
here.
mean.
You're so mean.
You're mean.
I saw somebody got hit in the head by a hammer at one of the Queens subway stops, and I was like,
Did you see they're putting the Coast Guard and
well, I saw they're going back to doing the random bag checks in the subway.
Said we got it was on the New York Times. I almost sent it to you, but I figured you would have seen it. It said that they're going to start putting the Coast Guard at like major stops, so like the Times Square stop and things like that, because there's all these attacks happening. A lot of increase in violent attacks on the subway. I haven't.
Well,
witnessed any?
Where do you get on? The one that I was reading about is probably a good ways down the line from you. This is more like Elmhurst area, and you're in Astoria, but
that's a different train.
But I didn't know if it was the same train, two different stops going into the city. I mean, it was.
No.
But anyway, so some guy's getting off the train and just walking up the steps like he's leaving the station, and some dude just runs up behind him, hits him in the head with a hammer, and
that's crazy.
Doesn't know anybody, just,
Yeah.
Hey.
My neighborhood.
You're jogging up the steps, and you have you feel a blinding pain in the back of your head.
From everything I've been told and everything I've witnessed, and I mean, I've only lived there, 5 weeks, but Astoria seems to be pretty safe. Not a lot of craziness happening. It's a lot of families. It's a lot more like old foreign families is kind of where I live.
Yeah, it's Greektown.
Yeah, but apparently, I mean, it's also New York. There's 9 million people here.
Yeah.
Someone could just hit you with a hammer because they felt like it.
Or a baklava.
Or a baklava.
Or throw a pan of spanakopita at you.
Mm-hmm. Might not hurt as much, but.
What a delicious injury.
But yeah, I saw that today that they're going to start putting Coast Guard and more NYPD at like the busier stops and stuff because there's a lot of robberies and violent attacks happening.
The Coast Guard.
Yeah.
Just
because
they're around? Because they're available? Or
I said get back to this article, but I was like, it seems like you're doing too much, you know?
Well, how much is, you can't do too much when you're charged with protecting the citizens of New York. So if that's what they're going to do.
And the crime's not happening.
3 hours ago, New York will send National Guard.
National Guard. Oh, that makes
National
more
Guard to subways after a string of violent crimes. The
Now, you're sure they're not sending National Guard to Subway sandwich shops?
This picture has a train on it. So
do the old walls at the Subway sandwich shops. They used to have those, back in the early days of Subway, the wallpaper was all old-timey Subway lines, right? Remember that?
Yeah.
It was very on the nose, the decor at Subway sandwich shops.
750 members of the National Guard to assist the New York Police Department with bag searches at the entrance to busy train stations.
Mm-hmm.
Dang. They're checking for guns, knives. We just talked about this yesterday. How
razors.
You got to put your gun in your
my
butt.
gun on the subway. My gun that I don't have.
Old gun butt.
Old gun butt, Mary Santora.
Oh, you can get banned from the train for 3 years if you.
Banned from the train. That won't make anybody angry.
And it's also not like people. I probably see 30 people jumping the turnstiles.
Yeah.
Every time you're going to get on the train.
Have you done it yet?
No.
Are you going to?
No.
That's how you know
you're. $3 a ride. You're going to be fine.
Yeah.
What can you get?
If I was that hard up that I couldn't afford a $3 subway ride, I don't need to be in the city at all.
Tell the people that are jumping over them. Be like, hey, get out of the city. You can't afford to be here.
Get out there and panhandle your way in. Whoop, got me in the gun butt.
You don't want to do it, jump the turnstile just for fun?
No, you know what? The other day, well, this is a couple weeks ago now, I went to swipe my card and it didn't read, which will happen sometimes, but I was rushing. I was like running to grab the train and I swiped the card and the turnstiles were still locked. And I bashed the top of my knee because I was like just still in motion.
Oh, you thought it was going to move.
Yeah, because you hear it and it goes beep and you think, oh, that means it's unlocked, but it was not. And I am not coordinated enough to jump a turnstile. My foot will get caught or like my jacket or something.
Well, then have somebody film it.
Tangled up inside of it.
Have you jumped the turnstile, Bill?
No, that's legal, Alan.
So if you get caught, it's only $3, so the police not going to arrest you.
No. It's $3 to ride the train. The fine is not the cost of riding the train. You get a ticket.
I'm saying, is it worth it to them to write you a ticket or whatever for $3?
Well, it depends on how busy it is. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of people jumping the turnstiles.
Because I'm sure
they'll like take your ID and ban you. Which I don't know what that does because you don't need an ID to sign up for
you can just
a Metro card.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to say they have a camera probably. There's cameras everywhere in New York.
But there's so many people. Like, trying to ban someone from the subway seems impossible.
Or they could wait until you accumulate enough to have a felony. Like, if it's $3, it's $3 every time. They're like, oh, well, you accumulated this over the past 2 years. Now
or
it's
don't worry about the
$1,000.
turnstile jumpers and focus on the guys with hammers.
Yeah.
How about that?
Hey, they're paying their money.
That's what the National Guard is for, is that they're going to be doing bag checks for
Hammers.
Hammers and guns. And
hey, man, you
knives.
got a hammer in here? People joining the National Guard. It's just one weekend a month. I'm in the subway checking for hammers. Well, listen, there are many, many points on the
you could be the hammer.
protecting your,
You can be the hammer, you can be the nail, That's New York City.
last line of defense down there in the subways, the National Guard.
Will they go start doing hammer control?
Yes. Let's do some hammer control. Please, hammer, don't hurt him.
I think we just need to stop hammer time.
He was trying to tell you, please, hammer, don't hurt him. You talking to your hammer. Poundcake was a carpenter back in the day. And every day, he's told me this. I hope you don't mind me. I hope I'm not betraying your confidence. He told me back in the day when he was at JVS and he thought he was going to be a carpenter for life, right?
Mm-hmm.
C4L.
Like a jet.
Yeah. And he would say to his implements each day, he'd look at that, he'd say, please hammer, don't hurt him. By them, he meant his fingers. Please hammer, don't hurt him.
It's like his Hail Mary.
Yes.
I don't know how I survived back then.
You're a survivor. You're like Beyonce.
I got out with like not cutting my finger. Not
Beyonce,
getting,
the country music star?
Yes, Beyonce, the very same.
Has she done stuff before that?
Done what?
Like
It was her
music?
first album.
No, she put a hat on. That makes her a country music star.
No, but like, has she released music before this country album?
No, not that I know of. No, I think she got big on Star Search.
Ah.
Mm-hmm. You don't know how you survived trade high school.
Well, I don't know how I survived without cutting myself.
Oh, not
or
hurting
myself.
yourself.
Yeah, like I didn't cut my finger. I knew a guy that cut his finger like working.
Measure twice, cut once.
But not your finger.
Measure your finger twice and then cut once to make sure that you don't cut your finger.
Didn't get my hoodie stuck in the saw or something
Oh,
like that.
God.
You know, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
like,
I understand. You're so jittery. You're probably even more so then.
No, it's the opposite. That's why I'm like, man, I had no anxiety. All my anxiety was people finding out that I was gay, and obviously it wasn't hard to find out. But I didn't have any anxiety back then.
Why was it? Maybe now you should walk around with nails in your pocket.
But I don't know if
maybe
I don't think it was the carpentry back then. I was fearless back then.
Maybe you need a token because you were younger and indignant.
Probably I didn't know much about the world, and now that I'm grown, I'm like, I know how stuff works. I'm like, oh, I don't like this at all. This is not what I signed up for. Now all of a sudden,
this is why my parents were so mad when I was a kid.
Well, I didn't ask to be born, and now all of a sudden I got my life in my hands. How fair is that?
Actually, if you believe in Christianity, I think you did ask. Didn't you ask God? Is that just a Mormon thing? The pre-existence?
That's just a Mormon thing.
Yeah.
You guys don't got the pre-existence?
No.
Oh, you should have got the pre-existence.
No, we just have
It's a nice fairy tale.
We just have embryos equal children.
Oh, we got that too, but we had pre-existence where there was a war in heaven, and we decided to choose God's side, and he's like, all right, I'll send you down to earth one by one, and some of you guys are going to get some good times. And some
I
of you
saw
gonna get
LDS got
a
their
lot of
mitts
bad
back on the
times.
Kirtland Temple.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Yeah, good for them. They got enough money.
Hey, Dick, were your ears burning?
Yeah, that's pretty good about you start Mary talking about trains because my family my grandmother lived right by the Penn Central. Now it's the I'm trying to think, the Chessie. And there was the depot there from Wellington, and I remember my cousins, we used to take the train to Cleveland. It took about an hour in downtown to see the stadium and the lake, and I went with my dad one time in '63. But I always loved the trains because I'm going to where I play the dulcimer. We have it's the Chessie. It goes by there, and sometimes we play there by the little depot. The jam session plays at Library Park, and sometimes you might see a pass. I saw one. It was funny. I never saw one. I don't know where it was coming. Yesterday when I played, it was a passenger train. It had about 11 cars on it.
Remember when I said be careful what you ask for, Bill, because you just might get it? Remember when I, yeah. You know, Dick, we were talking earlier about the fact that when we have listeners to the program pass away, we really have no way of finding out. And somebody pointed out that they hadn't heard you in a moment, and so that got us theorizing that perhaps something had happened to you.
I'll tell you what happened is there's some kind of bug going around. It's some people had COVID, and it was like a sinus.
You got laid up.
Sinus. 2 weeks. I never stopped, and I don't smoke, and I never stopped coughing.
Yeah, I get the cough,
I
too.
was out for 4 days, and then they gave me some syrup, and I took really strong medicine, and I slept in. But I just had that. It was a virus. It was a sinus, but I'm a lot better. But, yeah, I wondered. I said I better call because it's been a while, But I'm doing okay now,
Well, we just wanted to make sure that you were still above ground, quite frankly, Dick.
Yeah, I missed you guys. I just wanted to say, too, we got new... I'm a little upset. One of my friends I go see up at the McDonald's, we have a group. they put Firefall, and I haven't seen a Cavaliers game. I think I went with one of my friends in band watch, but I think they're doing good, and I give the Guardians. I think this year they might go to the World Series. But yeah, I missed talking to you guys. I didn't want you to wonder. I bet everybody worried, didn't they? But I thought I'd check in to tell you. I'll keep in touch. Have a good night, everybody. Licky, 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 boom, doom, down. Licky, 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 boom, doom, down.
Hey, next time I say something where I'm concerned about Dick, punch me in the face, will you?
Yeah.
Just do me a favor and just lean across and just punch me square in the face, and I'll know what's happening. All right, well, he was laid up with some kind of virus.
They gave him syrup.
You know, somewhere along the line, I switched to syrup. I grew up saying syrup. I don't know. It's because I've lived in a bunch of different places. You kind of pull a little bit from whatever maybe the regional changes are or whatever. But when I grew up. Now we didn't get it. I didn't have any firsthand knowledge of syrup or syrup. Wasn't in our house.
Molasses.
But as a word, I said syrup. Somewhere along the line, if you were to ask me now, what would you have on your pancakes? I'd say syrup. And I don't know when that happened. So I'm in the Dick camp. I don't know when that happened. But syrup for me became syrup, Mary. So
That's exciting.
You mock Dick.
Is this a tease, or we're going to talk about more things that started pronounced one way?
Yeah, of course.
Way?
Yes. I've got the whole next hour blocked out. Is that a problem?
Caramel?
Coming up next.
What are we doing?
Hammock versus hammock.
Hammock?
Oh,
Nobody says hammock.
I know a lot of people who say hammock.
Well, that ham hock, are they talking about like
No.
making a soup?
HAMMOC, like the thing you lay in, hammock.
No, I think that's just flat out wrong. Hammock.
They will fight you tooth and nail that it is the right
Well, they can, but I think they're still wrong. Hammock.
Yeah.
All right, well, let them do what they want, right?
Right. Not hurting anybody.
Right. No, I'm trying to put in hammock pronunciation. It came up with hammock porn videos.
What?
Hammock porn videos. You know, Mary, hammock porn video.
Hammock.
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 Yeah. Here, let's make sure. Let's slow it down.
Hammock.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to go lay out in the hammock. Maybe it's a British thing.
They are from America.
Oh.
Aluminium.
Aluminium. I'm going to take a break here. I'm going to take a brioche. And if you want to send a text for something, 35192. Want Cavs tickets 2 weeks from tonight. Your Cavaliers are going to play the Miami Heat. And I get a couple of tickets for you and a pal, so we'll do that after.